All right. Hi, Nadia. Are you with us? If you just want to say hello, that would be so great to let us know that you found us. All right. Well, we're slowly receiving the folks from the other side of that live. All right. So this is an amazing experience. All right.
It'll be smoother next time.
Yes. There she is. Okay. Thank you. Cool. Thank you for saying hi. All right. So Nadia, we're just kind of stalling a little bit to see if we can pause and let some other people join us. So I'm sharing about the first time that I met Claire, and it was at a gathering where she decided that she'd really like to join one of the groups that I ran last year. So last year, the programs were based on getting into the body and moving the energy that gets stuck inside of the body that's pretty dense through, getting a framework, basically building our bodies up from the ground level. So rewiring ourselves by moving energy through the energy centers of the body, using hands, using breath, and using our focused mind. And so when I built up the 3-level program series, it was really the translation of what I'd been feeling and seeing within human bodies and within their tissues, their anatomy, their bones. Great. Thank you, Pepper. All right. We've got 6 people. So last year and the year before that, most of the work that I was offering was creating a framework and helping people get into their bodies energetically. And the most important thing that I felt that my job in those 2 years was to create some understanding, a really deep, like I just wanted everyone to put on energetic goggles and be able to get into their body and recognize that when we can start to see what we're made of energetically, we are 100% energy. And when we get to be connecting into the truth of what we're made of, then the next step is, when you recognize that you're made of energy, you are also designed to be able to move through the energies that got stuck in your body at some point in your life. So the first program series was all about that, was just breaking things down to the energetic level and creating this bridge so that people knew we are designed to heal. We are literally designed to be able to do our own healing work. We are self-healers. It's just that we're not taught that. So Claire and I met, and right away I recognized that there was something very different about her, that I'd never come across a person like her before. She has this uncanny ability to be connected to her emotions in a really beautiful, healthy, flowing way, to feel the energy of the feelings, the emotions as they come into the body, and clear them through crying, through being present with them, loving herself while feelings arise. And that was not something that let's just say that feeling anything was a really hard thing for me. And I learned how to bypass around feeling. I thought I was feeling, but I just wasn't. And so when I met Claire, she introduced me to a whole world of existing, of being in her body. And I thought, actually, in the beginning, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach this person anything, because she seemed so heart. Just, she was walking around. She is just this beautiful heart, and she was born this way. And her heart, unlike mine, really never closed down in the ways that mine did. And so many of us right now are waking up to the truth that we are needing to live in our lives and be in our bodies in different ways, with our hearts open, despite whatever it is that's going on outside of us. And there's a lot going on outside of us right now. And so when I started working with Claire, I was really struck by one thing. Her body was loaded with dense energy. She had this unbelievable ability to feel, unlike anyone I'd ever met, but the energy of the emotion that she was feeling was actually getting stuck in her body. It was getting congested within her body. And as a result of that, she had physical pain in so many parts of her body. And when I started treating her, it was an intense experience for both of us. And it just turned this light bulb on for each one of us, because we realized, wait a minute, feeling alone isn't enough, but it's an important part, because if we don't feel what's coming up in the moment, then anything that we resist is going to stay in our bodies. It's going, so I wasn't feeling, but I was just bypassing around. So I was basically getting progressively congested. And then I came in and I cleared it. So what was so sneaky about my system is that I move energy in these big ways. I know how to clear my body. And so I started in 2020 giving myself a self-healing session every single day. And I felt things leave my body, and parts of me that were physically in pain were no longer in pain. So I knew that the work that I was doing in my own body was transformative. And I thought that was enough. And then I met Claire and I realized, wait a minute, the unfelt feelings and emotions that come in every single day were the actual thing that were congesting my body. And so it was like I was being filled back up again every single day by the feelings that I didn't know how to feel, because I hadn't been taught, because I'd been very traumatized as a kid, and I was told to not cry. I was told it's okay. I was told you're strong, you can do this. And so I learned this way of bypassing around all my feelings, and I went through my life in a very robotic way. And I soldiered on through medical school and through life until I realized that I don't feel anything. My heart felt very closed. So I met Claire, and all of a sudden we fell in love, like almost instantly. Claire kind of knew this right away.
Me instantly. It took her a month to catch on, but we eventually connected.
Case in point, because my heart doesn't always connect in to the frequencies of love. Whereas Claire, the second that I walked into a room where we met for the first time, she could literally feel me.
I was like, oh, there she is.
So I see that we have 15 people on. So I just want to finish this story. And by the way, for those of you that are just signing on, I was stalling. So I was telling the story of how Claire and I realized that our skill sets, our gifts are beautifully complementary, because I basically have been trained. My gift is to feel, see, and touch, hear energy. And when I work within somebody, whether it's my own body or someone else's body or a group of people, like we're going to do in a little while here, what happens is that I synchronize with energy that comes in through myself, through you, through us as a group. And then I get to see it and feel it and hear it and work with it. And so from the beginning of a healing session to the end, I'm able to connect into parts of us as a collective, but you also as an individual, where dense energy has been basically stuck, waiting to be processed, waiting to be cleared. So that's only one side of the equation. The other side is we have to go even deeper to see what is it that's creating the congestion within our bodies. Because if we're only moving the energy and clearing the energy without connecting in with the emotions as they come up to be felt every day, but we're kind of like in a state of, for me, dissociation, disconnection, or if I don't have a skill set to be able to truly be present with the feelings and emotions as they arise, I'll just push them down somewhere and not even know it. And the next thing I know, I've got shoulder pain, or I'm really sick, or I'm depleted and tired, or my heart is closed. And that's what happens to all of us. So Claire brings in this beautiful skill set that we saw very early on was amazing and really like revolutionary, but actually not complete, because the energy that she was feeling, she wasn't clearing. She was moving it.
I was just swirling around.
Yeah. So that's what this is all about, is that we now have learned how to come together and how to create a complementary, like a beautiful tool set where we not only learn how to move and clear the energy from our systems, which allow us to come back into wholeness and heart opened or heart centered consciousness. We live from our hearts, because when our system is in a state of coherence, when it's in a state where our energy system is flowing, we literally live from our hearts, as opposed to living from this more survival brain that gets tripped up if we're congested with dense energies. And when emotions are arising every day to be felt, now we're actually having we gain the skill set to be able to handle the moment by moment, day to day, the conversations that trigger us, for example, those are showing us where there's energy to be worked with in our body. It's not about just clearing it though. It's actually about feeling it and having, and this is not an easy thing. At least this is what I've been really appreciating, is that these ways of learning how to feel are, for many of us, they're new. So many of us have learned to shut down and we didn't even know it. And so this is the process of coming into your body in both this beautiful divine masculine way, which is the clearing energy part, and the divine feminine way, which is the feeling, expansion, being present with all that is within us. Because really what we are all being asked to do right now, and this is just to kind of bring it to a close, my little monologue here, and I'd love to open it up to questions. So if you have any questions for us, please go ahead and put them into the chat right now and we'll start answering them. And then if there are no questions that come in, we'll go into the healing session. And I know we all have lives that we want to get back to, so I want to make sure that we do that. We had a bit of a delay here, so really sorry about that. But I was thinking that we could go into the healing session by somewhere between 10:45 and 10 and 11. And just let us know here how that works for you guys. Okay, so the whole point of this program is, and I'm going to bring it to energy. Each and every one of us, all humans on the planet, are made up of energies that have divine masculine components, properties, and divine feminine properties. This particular time on the planet is about really balancing us back out again. We've been in a very wounded divine masculine energy world. We can see that. We've been hustling, we've been stressed out, we've all been going so fast, and we've been pushing forward, achieving, accomplishing, and really externally focused. This time, these past 2 years, has been a real halt of most productions. Our whole life rhythm has changed, and the stress on the planet has increased. And what's happened is that we have all been offered enhanced external stressors, meaning it's triggered our wounded divine masculine energies. What's really coming through now, though, is that underneath all the stress on the outer planet is that there's a rising of the divine feminine. We've been so out of balance on this planet for thousands of years, actually. And now the predisposition is there's actually an enhancement of divine feminine energies coming up. And these are the energies of presence and of love, healing, nurturing, grounding, soothing, of beingness. And so we, all of us, because we've been living in a world that's been mostly largely divine masculine, my offering a framework to help you move energy through your body is a divine masculine approach to healing. And it's beautiful because it's not a wounded divine masculine approach, but it's doing something. We get into our body, I will teach us how to move energy with our hands, connect into the energy inside the body, and we literally move it through. And it's an amazing skill set to have. But each one of us now is being called into a state of balance where we each have a balance point of the divine feminine energies. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I'll answer that for you. And the divine masculine energies. So these divine feminine energies are the ones that most of us feel the most clumsy around, myself included. I'm a mover. And I love when I feel energy moving in my body, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Because it's almost like this palpable, when you start to feel energy move through your body and all of a sudden that like pain that you had for 40 years, which is my true story, goes away, it's so confirming. But the other side has to be attended to. Otherwise, the healing is an ongoing, incessant wheel. We literally get congested with our own feeling states. Anything we're not capable or knowing how to feel is what comes back in again. So when we work with both on a daily basis, our systems literally come back into balance. The divine feminine feeling emotional energies combine with the energetic clearing energies. And then every day we walk around in this empowered, self-healing, self-actualized place where we know who we are, we know what we're here to do, the energies of creation and creativity come in, and we are whole. We feel the wholeness in our cells. And that's what we all get to return to. That's what we came in as little babies, before we got pummeled by society, by our upbringing, by all of these wounds that we've absorbed, each and every one of us. But we're all going back. So that, in a nutshell. I'll just stop talking for a while and let Claire take over. We have amazing questions
We have some
coming
good
through.
questions
So thank you,
to
everyone.
start with. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want to start? Sarah's question is, how is what you do different from Reiki?
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. So Reiki, first of all, I've not been trained in Reiki, so I just want to put that disclaimer forward. What this is a specific way of moving energy within the actual structures of the body. My understanding is, and I hope I'm not misspeaking here, is that Reiki connects into the energies that are really beautifully, they run through the body, they surround the body, they infiltrate into the cells of the body. So what this is as energetic osteopathy. So this is basically, I've been trained as an osteopath. So my skill set is in the specificity of seeing all the way down to the cellular structure, anatomy, and physiology. My certifications and training are in physical medicine and neuromusculoskeletal medicine. So when I work and teach people how to connect into the body, it's very specific. We go into the body, literally energy center by energy center, starting down at the base of the body. And it's more structured in my understanding of Reiki. This is a systematic way to move energy through the energy centers, which then move into the neurologic system, which then moves into the vascular system, which then moves into the tissues, bones, joints. So when I work with people, specifically if I'm working on myself or with somebody on a one-on-one basis, I will be able to see inside of your body the energy that's not moving very well, because I'll actually see let's just say you have hip pain. I'll be able to see inside of the hip joint where the bones are not opened, where the joint is malaligned, and where the energy got stuck inside that place. And then I will teach you how to literally go into that specific joint to clear it out. The specificity is really important because in energetic osteopathy, there's a perfect form of energy in our bodies. If it's not, and by perfect, I mean the body feels very fluid, as if it's connected into one drop of energy. Okay. When the body doesn't feel that way, if you go in and things feel a little scattered and disconnected, there's energy in your body that's in a static form. It's in stasis. It's not in a place where it gets to be connected back into you as one whole. So there's a lot more of so this is literally like an energetic, I'm going to say there are moments when I can do like an energetic surgery, honestly. So it's very specific. And I feel that with Reiki or other forms of energy healing, a lot of times we can feel better and enhance our energetic system as a whole. But the specific ailments, those parts of the body where energy just likes to hang out and hide, they don't get addressed. We don't see them. So this is a very articulate and very minute way to be able to actually go into each of the body parts to get the energy moving there. And then we're flowing together as one. So the goal of this is very much the same as any other kind of energy healing. And that is, we want to connect back into the source of energy that we're made of, which is through that beautiful column that runs through the body, feeds all the energy centers. But if we don't get into the actual tissues where that dense energy is held, we can actually accidentally bypass around it and it stays there. So we feel better as a whole, but we'll still have the pain. So I hope that answers that question.
Well, would you say also for this program specifically too, like it's a more participatory process, whereas like Reiki is something that you would like receive traditionally, and here you're actually teaching them how to go in and do it on their own.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't really know as much about Reiki. I've considered getting Reiki certified just so that I can actually have a lot more to say about that, because this question does come up a lot.
What Jess does is completely different than anything I have ever received. And so it's, what we're bringing in this program, what Jess is bringing and what I'm bringing in a different way is leading you back to yourself. It's giving you giving you the tools to return to your sovereignty and know how to heal your system in all of the ways. So you'll receive information, perspective shifts, tools, but you are the one going in and doing your healing. And it's not something that you like start doing for, you do it for an hour and then you return to your life. It's like, this is a new way of approaching our lives day to day. It's a new way of like being in the world.
So something that when I went to medical school, I went to, so in this country, just so that you know that what osteopathy is, I think that'll just be helpful to touch on for just a quick second. So in this country, in the United States, we have two ways to go and become a fully licensed doctor, medical doctor. You can go to an allopathic medical school, which will give you the credentials MD after your name when you're done, or you can go to an osteopathic medical school and you get the credentials DO after your name when you're done. So I'm a DO. When we go into osteopathic medical school, we are offered tenets of osteopathy, which are the body is self-healing and self-regulating. And I take it one step further in energetic osteopathy, which is that we actually, and this is the truth that I've come to know after so many years of going to other doctors, osteopaths, getting treatments and having limited relief. I've had amazing treatments from other people, but the treatments offered a relief in my body, and I'm very sensitive, and I've carried a lot of pain in my body for my whole life, starting when I was a kid and I was run over by a car. So it set me up for a lot of physical ailments, and I'm also very athletic. So I've been very hard on my body physically, and so I just always walked around with multiple joints that didn't work, chronic low back pain. It was a hard time. And I learned that by going to other people, I would feel better, but I was like still just craving some more relief until I started actually doing this work on myself, which it was an accidental. I stumbled upon my own energetic system one day when I was out running. I could actually feel my heart open and it pushed my hands away from my body because I was in such a happy state that particular day that my heart, the electromagnetic field of my heart showed me that I actually was able to connect in with it with my hands. So as an osteopath, I was trained to feel inside of people's bodies hands-on. And then all of a sudden in 2020, I shifted and was encouraged to do one treatment over Zoom. And the person who I did that treatment on is actually in this room right now. So that makes me really, really happy. And it was like we both cried, at least I did. I think he did as well, because it was such a beautiful translation of all the work that I'd done for many, many, many years. I was trained. I had to put my hands on you to treat you. And then all of a sudden that went away. No longer did I need to actually put my hands on your skin. But then the next part was my body taught me that, wait a minute, this isn't to be done on other people exclusively. I can certainly help you, but that my body said, wait, you can feel me too. And so that next thought came into the reality that, well, if I can feel my own energy in this way, in a specific way, maybe I can actually help myself feel better. And I started to do that work on myself by treating myself every day. So what energetic osteopathy, what this whole healing platform is all about is returning your sovereignty. Like you are the one who actually has way more power to heal yourself than anyone outside of you, regardless of whether or not you're working with a really high level osteopath, massage therapist, acupuncturist, whoever it is. There are amazing healers on this planet, and we are all designed to assist you and to support you, but to not actually be the one that goes all the way to the source where the healing is really needed. For you to literally return back to that version of you before any of these dense energies came into your body that are the things that cause you emotional disconnection and physical pain. You are the only one actually who is able to get in. And so the self-healing movement on this planet right now is growing because people are waking up to this truth. And what Claire and I are here to offer is a tool set that we have found between us that, like, when you use my tool set and not hers and vice versa, it's incomplete. And so it's both, right? So energetic osteopathy is actually what I teach is how you are to do it. It's your job. It's your work. And so the framework that I'm bringing into this program is that over the past 2 years, I've created a 10-step protocol, and I'm bringing that in. So each week of this program, and Nadia, I see your question. So we'll go into the structure and how this will work. I'll let you talk. Sorry, you guys. I get very like channely. The energy just kind of flows through me. I start talking and it's hard to
It's great.
connect it. So she's the earth and I'm the water.
Literally.
And when I am asked a question, I'm like, whoosh, I go off in different directions.
There she goes.
Yes. So I'll let Claire take over. I hope that answers that particular question.
Well, and then Sarah added, it sounds more prescriptive than a broad holistic treatment. And it's both.
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for that. It is both. So what's really lovely about this particular modality is that it problem solves. So I'll share really briefly. When I was 4, I was pinned under a car, and it imposed a sacral dysfunction, a pelvic compression that I really struggled with for 40 years. It didn't slow me down. I just kept moving. I kept my body really strong and fit. And I learned how to get around it. But it was like there was this root that I couldn't seem to access. And all of the healers that I went to, and I have had the privilege of meeting some of these. I mean, my beloved mentor, Jim Jellis, who passed away last year, was, in my opinion, one of the most gifted osteopaths that I was graced to know and be treated by many times. And it was always astounding to me that I would go and receive several days worth of treatment at a course that I would have taken with him. And my pain didn't change. My body felt great. I felt so connected, but I came home with the same physical pain. And I worked with osteopaths in Maine, where we live. And I remember another beloved osteopath who passed away a couple of years ago, Kevin Zorski. And he looked at me. I had right shoulder pain at that time. That was just, my body was really decompensating. And he treated me for a long, long time. And I felt things in my body and it was so beautiful. And then at the end of the treatment, he looked at me and he's like, I'm not going to help your right shoulder problem. You are. And then he died like a couple months later. And I was like, what does that even mean? So I was given these little pearls along the way that my body's not going to get better. And I just accepted. I got to this place in my life where I was like, you know what? Probably just going to have discomfort in my body. But then my body showed me that it wanted me to be the one to do the work of moving this energy inside of the body. It was only then, and a couple months after, I just committed myself to getting in every day and just feeling whatever I could feel. And I honestly didn't know what I was doing, but my hands started moving. And they started moving in a very sequential way. And then I realized that I could actually, with my mind, connect into a part of my body. Like, okay, it's my left side that hurts. I'm going to go over there. And all of a sudden I started feeling things moving. With probably 2 months of doing this on a daily basis, the pain just dissolved. I had, it was subtle at first, but I love to do, I weightlift and I do CrossFit. And so I went to CrossFit one day and I started doing some back squatting and I didn't have any pain. It was so alarming actually, because I was like, wait, something's different here. And the pain went away and it honestly hasn't come back. And Claire can attest to that. Like, I'm just a bit of a monkey when it comes to like moving my body, and I don't have any pain anymore. Pain comes in, we're human, we absorb things, but it moves out so fast. And I've had some really catastrophic injuries just in the time that we've known one another. And those injuries have they've come in, they've been really intense at times. And then I've cleared them over, because that's what we're designed to do. So it's both prescriptive in the sense that when you have a problem, it moves that energy through much more quickly. But the most important thing that we're here to offer is a foundation of so that when things do happen, we've already created that framework in place in your body. And it just becomes a part of your energetic hygiene. It's always amazing to me that we are taught to brush our teeth every day, but we're not taught to brush our energy systems. And that's really important because energy builds up in our bodies, just like plaque builds up on our teeth. So if we're not attending to our systems every day, things accumulate over time until something happens, like a big thing happens. It could just be that your shoulder starts to hurt and it won't go away. But it could also be that your organ starts to get really sick, or maybe you develop a more systemic disease or illness. So, this is as preventative and proactive as it is problem focused. went through Jess's previous programs. They complement one another and are different. Thank you, Nadia. Nadia is saying that she gives Reiki to herself. But this is a much more complex set of tools. I think the most important thing is to recognize that there's like a level of specificity and detail that is unique here with this particular, the tools that I'm bringing in. And this is a multi-level program that we are bringing in here. This first level is handing you a tool set that has both the 10-step self-healing protocol so that you can start playing with that. What does it feel like to get into your body in these ways and hone those tools? And then Claire brings in the emotional work that has to, it interweaves in the most beautiful ways. So the emotional work is, and I'll let her speak to that, but this first level program creates a foundation for you to start playing and just feeling your body energetically in these new ways. More advanced levels to this particular program offers a practitioner level track. So if you are someone who's Reiki certified and you want to be able to take your Reiki practice into a much more specific, a different kind of energetic modality, such as what we're doing here, this will offer you the building block set to get there so that you'll be able to actually start to see. And part of this is literally knowing the anatomy of the body. So when I go into the body, if something's not moving, I can zoom in. And this is what I'm here to teach you. So I can actually zoom in. We'll just keep with the shoulder to see, where the head of the humerus actually sits into that socket where the scapula and the humerus come together to create the glenohumeral joint. When you can start to actually see the glenohumeral joint and all of the ligaments and the tendons that attach it together, you will actually develop the ability over time to see the minute detail of what, like I'll be able to actually see a tear or a lot of, one of the women who's in this group recently had a fracture to her tibia, which is part of the knee joint. And so some of the work that she and I have been doing together is, and she's been doing this, she had to have surgery to fixate the fracture. And when we work together one-on-one, I've actually seen inside of the fracture site and helped to stimulate the growth of the osteoblasts, which are the bone forming cells inside the fracture. And she's way ahead of the curve as far as healing goes and weight bearing status. So this is specific. And as we go forward, as we build this community and as we develop a skill set, this is just a foundation that we're building. We'll be able to go much more specifically into a higher level way that you can use this.
Well, and we want to be clear too, like in this level, we're not teaching you to see ligaments, or like the specificity that she just got into will be in like level 3 for the people who want to bring this into their practice. But you don't have to have that level of anatomy knowledge in order to do this work. This work is about you having greater awareness in your own body and bringing your system into alignment. And so in level 1, what we're doing is returning you into your body to integrate that awareness and then learn to work within that system and feel where there's density, tension in your body. So it's a very progressive experience. It's a very immersive experience. We're going to give you I want to get to Nadia's question about the structure of the week and the group session. And are we going to learn from each other as in previous programs? This program is structured in a way where every Sunday night we're going to release the content library for the week with the emotional and the energetic tools. And we in no way expect you to integrate and completely have down everything that we're giving you each week. What we're doing is gradually every week building this framework that you can then take into your life for the rest of it to start implementing these things. So you'll get videos, you'll get worksheets. Some weeks you'll get an audio practice from Jess every week with the steps that you're learning that week. You'll get at least one meditation from me that is centered around meeting and loving your inner kiddo, which is just one piece of the work that I'm bringing. And then every Friday, so all the content comes out on Sunday night. On Friday mornings from 9 to noon for the 5 weeks of the program, we're going to get together on Zoom and we'll do a group healing session every Friday. Jess will lead us through that. We'll do a Q&A every Friday because we know through the last year of working with each other and teaching each other our skill sets that we've had so many questions about how do we do this. And so we know that each one of you is coming to this with a different set of circumstances, beliefs, and different barriers, because we all have barriers to our own healing that we get to work through. So we want to make sure that you're getting the time and attention that you need to get your questions answered every week. And then with the remaining time, some weeks we'll break out into small groups and do exercises to play with some of the things we've learned. We may stay in large group and do discussions some weeks. We really want to leave flexibility within the Zoom calls to make sure that we have the ability to address whatever is coming up in the group. It's a very intimate, felt experience that we're inviting everyone into. And so we want everyone to feel really held in a safe container. So we will just be responding to the group every week as things sort of come up, and we'll be available during the week for email support if you're needing things in the meantime and have any questions. But you'll have access to the content library. You'll have the ability to access that information even after the program is over, so you can return to the different content as it comes up in your life and you're ready to apply it. You'll have it there for you. So we're really just trying to give you a foundation so that you can be more sovereign in your system. We're wired from the time that we're really little to seek outside of ourselves for love, safety, approval. And so we develop these habits as kids that help us to survive a bunch of circumstances where we don't have a lot of choice. We just kind of have to find ways to be okay with kind of going along with what's being asked of us. So we create like barriers in our system so that we don't have to feel certain things, that we can get through certain situations. And it works for us when we're kids, but most of us find that as adults, I guess what you could call like the rules for love or the prerequisites for love, they change because we're adults and our relationships are different, and we do have agency and we get to make choices in our life. And hopefully we are making choices that we feel good about. We're not just going along with what's being asked of us. So a lot of times those programs that we learned as kids, they just need to be updated. And for most of us, like, we don't even know what they are. We don't even know how to see them. We don't know how to recognize them when they're coming up. And so this program is not just about theoretically inviting you generally back into love for yourself. It's not that. It's really giving you practical daily tools to expand your awareness in your body, of what you're feeling, what your body is telling you, and then awareness of your thoughts. Where are you getting stuck in loops? Where are you focused outwardly and giving your power away? Where are you leaking energy? Because we all came here to be these boundless, creative, expanded humans. And when we get caught in emotional loops and thought loops, when we get stuck in these dense emotions, we don't have access to our creativity. We can't possibly expand and become and do the things that we're supposed to do while we're here. So we don't want you to have to waste any more time being stuck in states that keep you from being who you're here to be. So that's what this program is. It's liberating you from the things that have been holding you back from stepping into full power, full strength, and really being who you came to be this time around. So, but we want you to know it is very, very practical. Everything that we're giving you is very practical. I think a lot of programs do kind of just invite you generally to like feel better in your body. And some of that can actually kind of be bypassing. So we're actually giving you the tools to stop bypassing and to see where you're bypassing, because you may not have any idea. So.
And the other thing I want to offer is, for so many years working with my patients in my physical practice, I would help them from the outside, basically. And Nadia, I just want to thank you for saying that about Reiki, that there's, for those of you who are Reiki certified, and Nadia just brought this in, that she finds that it's more based on the ability to connect to the external energy, which is true, right? So we are connected to source. We are source. We have energy that is, we are all the same. We all come from one energetic source, and that is source energy. That is just, it's what breathes through us. Now, the thing here is that we also are made of the earth. And so what's so important about the difference, and I'll just touch upon this quickly, Nadia, because I just want to bring this in. The healing is happening inside the body. We first go down into the earth to open back up the communication lines between our bodies and the earth. Our earth is our mother. She is the one that brings up the energies that actually come into our body. This is very physical. This is very tangible. This can be felt. When we connect into the frequencies of the earth, we feel very different in our bodies. When we connect to source, very different frequency. It's an elated frequency, it's a buzzy frequency, it's an expanded, and sometimes it's a little bit flighty. We can be so in our heads and so connected to the energies of source that we're not grounded down here on this beautiful earth, where we are all being asked to be more sovereign. So the healing happens inside. The energy that we're moving is literally happening inside the actual cells of our body. 40 trillion cells. And we have the capacity to influence how those cells work, integrate, connect, communicate with one another. And when they're all in unison, our body's in a state of coherence, energetic coherence. And when we're in coherence, the energy that gets exuded through every cell of our body is love. It's pure love. We return that to that love. Every moment that we go into our bodies and we feel our energies, we feel it through the emotions, we feel it with our hands in the physical, we are coming back down into a state of energetic coherence, which is the energy of love. Doing this takes a little bit of time, and it takes, I think, problem solving, ways that we fall out of our bodies, because when we do fall out of our bodies, and I do this all the time, by the way, here I am, this person who teaches this stuff. And Claire and I can't even tell you, hours and hours and hours of problem-solving conversations on the couch where I've completely lost. I'll go into a trance state. This happened the other night, and I was literally feeling my feelings. I have to share this. I have been crying so much this year. And
we both have.
It's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience, because I was trained through my upbringing to not cry. I felt like I needed to be really tough. And so I lost the ability to cry. And so being with Claire, she's the complete opposite of, she's a crier. She will cry pretty much every day, and big cry, like huge cries. So I've witnessed this, so we kind of come from these extreme polar opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And so what I've been welcoming in is the feelings. And so the other day I went into my feelings because I had some big things coming up, the emotional wounding that was coming up around abandonment. And so I had abandoned myself in many ways. We all have. And so when I was in it, I was like, oh, cool. Look, I'm feeling my feelings. And I was kind of celebrating the fact that I was feeling. I was crying. I was in it. I was so in my body, and I couldn't get out. So I came out and I talked to her, and I was like, I couldn't feel the love. That's the point here. When we are, so there's so much to this. I mean, I've been feeling.
We get into this really deep in the program, but what you need to know for this is that it's important that we're able, when we're having a hard time, to hold ourselves in love. And that's kind of an abstract concept until you really dive into it. So for the last 11 months, Jess has been feeling the feelings, but not able to connect into the feeling the love at the same time. So that's what was happening.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know how to do both.
The point is that it takes a little bit of time before we can take, it's a stepwise process. And so I feel personally that, one of the paradigms that we're shifting away from as doctor-patient is there's just no possible way that I can offer you the steps to being able to really understand this, to come back week after week and say, wow, this thing happened to me. And I mean, that's what I do with Claire. I feel like I've been in this program. We've been building this program through our own experience, because I am a very willing participant in wanting to know how to feel and heal. And so, when you're in that place of deep healing, emotional healing, you can kind of get into a state of almost like a trance where you don't know how to get out of it. And so this particular community is one that we're opening up, that we intend to keep going indefinitely, so that, as time goes on, we'll build more and more and more programs in an online community so that we can stay connected. So this is an introduction to basically a community where we can hold one another, support one another, problem solve, and really start to like unpack this stuff, because when you're in the middle of it, it can be kind of blinding. And that's what my experience has been. I can move energy and feel really great in my body physically. When I go into the emotional stuff, it's very disorienting at times. And so this, in a sense, what Claire has offered to me is a lifeline. Like when I get to, I go in and I want to do my own work and I'm happy to do it. And I lean in to do the work. I'm very self-motivated in that way. But we all have our blind spots, and we have to have somebody who can see us from a much more expanded view than we often do when we're in the middle of the work. And so that's what this program offers, really, is a community where we can come. And it doesn't mean that you have to show up and, make yourself vulnerable to the group and expose yourself. If that's something that's not comfortable for you, you'll have access to us and an online community that we are about to launch as well, very shortly after this particular program, where we can all continue to dive in, because it is so important that we do so. This work never ends, as you know. And the most important thing that I know and that Claire knows is that we have to be healing in a community. We are designed to heal in groups. We are designed to have our soul family come and help us and hold us and love us. And that none of us can do this without the other. I certainly couldn't do it without Claire. I mean, I was at a plateau in my emotional healing, and I thought I was doing just fine until I met her. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't even feel my heart. I love you. I don't, that it was like the power of love was so magnificent that it just like drew me in. And then all of my old emotional energies came up to be seen, because I realized how limited I was. And so that's really, what I think really makes this particular experience different than any that I've seen, is that, this is a family that will basically hand you the tools, but then it's every life experience is going to show you a different way to use them. And it's not always intuitive. Over time, it becomes intuitive. And so that's really what we're offering you here, is like, here are the tools, like play around with those a little bit, and then come back to us as life hits you, as life happens. How did you navigate that? And how did you get back to love? Because it always returns to love.
And one of the biggest tools that we're handing you back is awareness. Like Jess just mentioned, we all have blind spots, and the definition of blind spot is that you can't see it. So if you're trying to do healing on your own, I was a single person for a really long time before I met Jess. And it's funny because both of us thought that we had done a ton of healing and we're just like, good. And then we got together, and that other person, that other equal, loving human sitting across from you that you're interacting with, you get triggered, like things that you can't see on your own, they come up. And so if you're in a relationship where you're not able to have those honest conversations with your partner, or your partner's not interested in doing this work, or you're not in a relationship, and you don't have someone close that can be a mirror for you, that's one of the beautiful things about doing this in a community, is that every week when we all get together, you will have an opportunity to come forward if you want to and say, I got stuck in this loop this week. I found out I kept having the same conversation over and over in my head, and I can't hear what is calling. I can't hear the wisdom. I can't see what part of me is asking for healing. I don't know what this is. And for some reason, that's what if I had a superpower, I guess that's what it is. It's like, I can hear what's asking for the healing, and I can help you get curious about what that looks like, and really bring love back into the equation. And I can help you figure out how to show up for yourself. So that's what Jess was doing the other night on the couch. She came to me and she was like, I can't feel the love right now. I don't know how to do that. I understand in theory what you're saying. But right now I'm stuck in the emotion. I just feel stuck. And so I was able to sit with her, and we were able to illuminate what was going on. We were able to troubleshoot. And so I will be offering that to you every week. You can email with things that you're feeling stuck in, or you can bring them to the group. I think the beautiful thing about being courageous enough to bring thought loops and things that you're having a hard time with to the group, the beautiful thing about that is then everybody gets to learn from that. We all have this voice in our head that we're not fully aware of. It's judging the people around us. It's telling us, it's got some commentary about everything we're doing. It's worrying about things that haven't happened. It's obsessing about things that already happened. And so we aren't aware of this voice a lot of the time. So when you actually say out loud what is happening in your mind, when you actually give voice to what is spiraling in your head, you give yourself a chance to witness it and go, is this real? Do I actually believe what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about doing it in the group is that you're held by the group. It's a safe space. And then you also get the feedback about where your blind spots are so that you can then go back and attend to that spot in you. So,
and I would like to say one last thing before we close and go into the group healing session. Thank you all for your patience, for staying with us, and for being with us for so much of your Saturday. We really, really appreciate this community. And Jane, we know very well that, what we're doing here is not afforded by some people. And what we are hoping to do, we are just starting up here. We're grassroots, we're a new paradigm of healing on this planet. And, you who are here right now are the chosen few who are awake. And we want to, first of all, just say, thank you for being awake right now and for being open to, the truth of who you are and how healing happens, and how, we are the ones, we're the change makers here. We're the way showers that are going to help to shift this planet from this oppressed state that it's been in for so many thousands of years to this heart consciousness, to this unity consciousness, to this, this new paradigm of healing, this new paradigm of existing. And so that being said, right now, yes, we are, asking for essentially tuition to come into this. This is a healing school, and there's so many more opportunities. We're just getting started. And so, hang in there with us. Obviously, we have to keep the lights on so that we can kind of keep going and building and getting out there. And there are a lot of costs that we have just to build this organization right now. But we are actively working on donations, on scholarships. We offer scholarships wherever we can. We're a nonprofit organization right now, and most of everything that we are taking in, we are just giving right back to building this and making sure that we can continue to grow, expand, and help people. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep you guys much longer than this. I'd love to get into the group healing session. So if there are any remaining questions, go ahead and put those into the chat box right now. And we can save them and then send them out as answers. I think we got to most of the questions.
I do really quickly, Lynn, you asked how did Claire arrive at her awareness of the gifts she embodies. I don't know if you have Instagram, but if you have Instagram, I did, I think, an 8-minute video about how I came to this work. And I don't currently have that up on my YouTube channel yet, but I will add that later today so that you can watch that. And my YouTube channel is Healing Your Human. Yeah, so we can answer that question too. Bye, Shannon.
Yeah, what if you can't meet on Friday mornings? The beautiful part of this program is that because the healing sessions are all happening within the energetic field, no matter when you experience that particular healing, it is so. It's one of those tricky things about the human mind that makes a construct of distance and time. And so when we are working energetically, the distance, as you will feel here in a moment, is irrelevant. Distance doesn't matter. We're all connected to the same energetic source, meaning we're all part of that. And so I will literally bring that source into us, synchronize us into one healing container, and you'll feel it. You'll feel what I'm doing in your body. And I'll talk through the whole thing. So for those of you who have not experienced a session in this way, you'll feel it. Now, if you are able to make it to the live sessions, that's a beautiful thing, because then you'll be able to take part in the Q&As and the more interactive group experience. But what's really the most important thing, as far as I see, is that you receive the understanding of how these tools work in your body. You put in the daily commitment to actually get into your body so that you can start to practice the tools. And then you bring to us, where you feel that you're limited. So if you're not able to make it to the group sessions, the live group sessions, You'll still receive the actual like group healing session. And it doesn't matter when you watch that. When you get into your body and you listen to what I'm bringing through, you will most likely, some people don't feel energy in their body the way that I do. We're all wired a little bit differently, and it just depends on how sensitive you are to feeling the energies. I would say more often than not, people are aware of exactly where I am in their body as I'm working. And so it doesn't matter if you're live or not, basically.
Well, and just know, this program, this level 1 is the foundation for everything that'll be offered from here on out for all other programs. And so we're going to run it. We'll run it many times. So if you can't make it to the live sessions and that feels really important to you, then just wait until next time. We'll probably run it again sometime this summer. We're not sure exactly on dates. But we want you to get the most out of the experience. So if it feels like a real bummer to miss the live portion, then just, make sure you're on Jess's email list so that you have the announcement of when the next level 1 will be run, and you can join us then.
All right, everybody.
I'm going to scoot out of the window here so you guys can just focus on Jess during the healing session. But thank you, everybody, for being here. And, if you have other questions come up, let us know. We want to get those answered. And remember that our program starts on the 27th. Is that next Sunday night?
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Susie. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So next Sunday, we will release the content, all the content for the whole week, meaning the videos that we're both going to be creating for you. There'll be 4 or 5 videos every single week. I'm going to record an audio, like a 20 to 30 minute audio daily practice. It's going to be the way that I'm going to teach you the framework of getting into your body and activating your hands to move energy inside of your system. Claire's going to be offering you her worksheets and different tools, emotional tools. And all of that content comes to you on Sunday evenings. The live portion is not until the following Friday. So actually you can certainly, if you're kind of on the fence, you have all the way up until the Thursday before the first live session, which is on March 4th. To come join us. You'll just have to get caught up on the content. So even though the program opens on the 27th, we're not getting together until the 4th of March. And then it'll be every Friday for the next five weeks ending on April 1st. And the format will be the same. The content will all be released on Sunday evenings, and the live calls will take place on Friday mornings. And in the future, we'd love to offer different times. We also actually have the intention of going in person and doing multi-day experiences that are going to be more like, really deep immersions into this work. So, all right.
Okay, group healing. When you're all done, just hit that.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for hanging in there. Here we go. All right, let's get some energy moving. So, let me see here. Let me just move things a little bit. All right. Awesome. Okay. So let's get into the body. This is the fun stuff. Enough with the talking. I know, Susie. So am I. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for being here. So if you've never experienced this kind of work before, you can lie down. You can sit up. I'm going to be guiding us through the body, energy center by energy center. I get much more specific as we get into the program, but when I work in a group like this, the most important thing is that we all come together into one healing container. And when we do that, our energy system, this is how I look at it. It's like our energy system comes together. We get to hold. What we're really doing is, in this first part, I'll synchronize us together. And we get into the heart first. When we open up the heart first, we connect together with the frequencies of love. And doing that increases the voltage of this container that we're in right now, and the healing is augmented. So energy that's dense in your body, that it just wants to move through you, has more of a magnetic draw to do so, because we're all together right now. So literally imagine yourself, as I'm synchronizing us right now, getting into your body, and you're just reaching out with your heart wide open, as if you're grabbing energetic hands with everyone in this circle. Okay. And this works, by the way. I'm sure many of you who are here know about the HeartMath Institute. And the HeartMath Institute is a beautiful organization that's been in place since 1991. They've measured this, that heart, when we open our hearts, energy changes. The electromagnetic field of the heart is the most powerful center in the body. So we begin here by opening up the heart. So just get into your body right now. And I'll stop talking so much so we can just feel the experience of being inside of our own hearts. If you're lying down, it's possible for you to follow along with me. I do find it a little easier to feel the flow of energy when our vertical central channel is open. So right now I'm sitting on a stool. My spine is upright. And I find that for my own practice at home to be the preferred position. But if you'd rather lie down, then I'd like to just encourage you to receive in whatever position feels the most comfortable for you. All right. Beautiful, everyone. So now we're just going to go into the body, closing down your eyes. And we have this beautiful elderly cat here who loves the frequencies of love. She just came in. And every time I synchronize my heart with, not every time, but a lot of times, it's really funny when Claire and I embrace in any way, she'll come running from wherever she is because she can feel love in her body. It's so cool. There she is. Hi, Gracie. She's rubbing against my leg right now. All right. Take a nice deep breath and find your heart center. And that's the fourth energy center of the body. Right in the middle of your chest, just behind that big sternum bone. And as you breathe in, start to see that what you're breathing in is no longer air, but energy. And it's crystalline energy, so it looks very sparkly, iridescent. Wherever you put your mind's attention, you enhance the energetic flow right there. You bring more energy there. You are literally bringing more photons to the area that your mind is looking at inside of your body. And then when you start to breathe it, the energy that comes in with your mind's attention starts to move. And I use my hands as magnetic sources of energy that holds from the outside of the body. So we take our breath, our focused mind, and hands, and we just encapsulate the energy inside of the body that is being called to move, inside and outside. We'll get into all the specifics of this as we go along in this program. But for now, just breathe into your heart. And when you exhale your next breath, feel yourself dropping your shoulders, relaxing into your body. And now we're going to move the energy all the way down to the lower part of your pelvis. And so with your mind, start to connect into the muscles at the very base of your pelvis. And if you are new, oftentimes I'll tell people to be able to find the energy center down here, which is called the root center or your first energy center. You can just gently contract the muscles of your pelvic diaphragm as if you're trying to cut off the stream of urine. And then when you contract and relax them, know that just above that is where your first energy center is located inside of your body. So now breathe in and start to feel the space of your first center. Breathing into it begins to expand that space and bring more energy into the middle of it. And then when you exhale, it begins to soften and dissolve and move down. And so what we're doing here is we're connecting into the frequencies of the earth by opening up our first energy center. This first center is the center that holds you in a state of safety and security. And when we're not in those states, when we feel a little bit unsafe in our lives and our bodies, the center closes down a little bit. And everybody here has been experiencing so many of these waves on the planet right now. So many of us are just walking around with these very low levels, or not, maybe not such low levels of stress and tension in the body. And so as you breathe in, begin to see that this center actually expands, but also opens. And as we do that, we start to settle in and allow a different frequency to start to come in. And these are the energies of the earth, and these are the ones that calm us. that soothe us. And you can imagine yourself being cradled by your mother in the most loving way as these energies come in, because that's exactly what happens. And so now as you take your next inhale, fill in the first energy center all the way. And so that it begins to really open to the energy below your body. Now exhale down and find a position with your mind to rest in that's about 2 or so feet below your body, whether it's lying down or sitting. And start to feel that these energies below you are these beautiful earth energies. They're made of pure love. They're made of crystalline frequencies that soothe you, that calm you, that fill you back up again, and help the process of pushing and moving out dense energy from your body. As you breathe your next breath in, bring the energy up from the earth through a vertical column of energy right into your lower pelvis, that first energy center, and it begins to fill with the energies directly from the earth. And now as you exhale, let yourself drop down even more. And if there's any tension somewhere in your body, maybe your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, as you exhale this breath, let it just melt right back down. And now we're synchronized with the earth. So we'll be taking the energies from the earth up through each energy center to fill us from the inside and move dense energy out from the inside through the walls of the body and back out into the energetic field that you're surrounded, yet you're immersed within the unified field of energy. So now take your next breath from the earth. Breathe in to fill your first center directly from these earth energies. And as you exhale, breathe out as if you're breathing out through the edges of your pelvis and your hips, and all that energy, anything that was stagnant in there, is now starting to drain away. Back out into the periphery of the room that you're in. Back out into the unified field where it can be returned and recycled. Maybe it falls right back down to the earth. Maybe it just goes out. Beautiful. Take another nice deep breath from the earth. Fill your pelvic energy center, that root center, all the way so it starts to completely overflow, and anything that was in there that in this moment is available to start to move out is able to, as the first center opens up all the way. Now you are fully rooted as the center opens out to the horizon. Returning down to the earth, start to breathe up and breathe into your second energy center. And this one is found behind your belly button. And it's tucked down into the lower abdomen, about 2 inches behind and below your navel center. And so within this center, in every energy center, there are many, many ways that we absorb energy. And it just tucks itself right in a denser form, in an unprocessed form, just waiting for us to come back in this way. To begin the process of transmuting those denser energies, meaning changing them from a packaged form into a integrated and flowing form. And so as you breathe into the second center from the earth, just see if you can notice what it feels like in your lower abdominal region. I'm over on the left lower quadrant of the abdomen right now, moving some density through over there. So you may or may not feel me in that part of your body right now. And I just go energy center by energy center up the chain until I start to feel each center come back into an aligned position, which allows it to be able to communicate with your body in a much more coherent way. And we align all the energy centers up in this way together so that they all can communicate. Your body comes back into balance and homeostasis. There we go. Good. Okay, a nice big release just came through the right lower quadrant of the abdomen as well. So now we're going to go right back up from the earth. Breathe in. Filling that second center all the way across the entire lower abdomen. And when you exhale, just watch it dissolve. The energy dissolves outside of your abdomen into the space that's around your body. And right back out, all the way out to the horizon. As energy leaves your body, it becomes absorbed by this beautiful energetic field. It doesn't need to stay inside of you, taking up space anymore. Your body will take what it can use to enhance your system and support your evolution as a soul. And whatever is no longer needed as energetic debris, it literally just leaves you. So this process catalyzes that transmutation process. Beautiful release of the second center to the horizon. Beautiful. All right, let's go up to the third center. So now take your attention from the earth, breathe up from this well of energy that's just under your body. And breathe into the part of your body that is found in the upper abdominal region. This is your third energy center up here. If you know the chakra system, I don't work within the chakras, but if you're familiar with that system, this one is called the solar plexus. I just call it for simplicity the third center. And it's found at the place where your bony sternum and your fleshy abdomen meet. So that is a crossroads. The center fuels and feeds your whole digestive system. All of these upper abdominal organs. Your stomach, which is where I am right now, your spleen, adrenal glands and kidneys, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, all are fed by this beautiful center. It's such an important center. They're all important in their own ways. And this center is opened and healthy and clear. It allows you really, truly to know who you are, a sovereign being with self-healing capacities. And when we know that, the rest is just acquiring the tools and learning how to use them. Breathe in. And this is how we reclaim our bodies, our health, our wholeness, by knowing who we really are and how powerful we are, how capable we are of working in our bodies in these incredible, magnificent ways that we've been born to know how to do, to be able to do. Breathing from the earth, bring the energy right up into the third energy center and start to feel it filling. And the center closes down often. We'll go into each energy center in great detail in this program, and you'll get to know the characteristics of each one, how it gets wounded, what it feels like when it's wounded, and how we can work to open it back up again every day. And what that might look like or feel like when there's health in each center, individually and also collectively, when they all come back together again. Breathe into the third center and feel it expand across your whole lower rib cage as it opens. And as you exhale, feel the energy from this center start to fall away from your body as your whole rib cage might feel like it's getting wider, lighter. The center will help to release the thoracic diaphragm. That's your breathing muscle. And having the center open oftentimes gives us the sense that we can just take a deeper breath. And in doing so, we're massaging our parasympathetic nervous system, the one that heals us and slows us down and calms us. So this center really helps to bring us down, regulate, and feel a greater sense of ease Really nice release here. The center is now opening all the way out. So you can feel that third center dissolving to meet the first and the second center. And now they're communicating with one another. So the lower three centers are now open. And those are your survival centers. So we're going to take all the energy that they're now flowing with, and that's flowing through them. And we're going to go into the heart. Now breathing up from the earth. Imagine and see the energy rise up through the three centers of your pelvis, your lower abdomen, your upper abdomen, and now come all the way into the center of your chest. And this heart center is powerful. And so just feel this now compared to when we started, because now you have the energy of your body. Your lower three energy centers house more energy in a storage form than the other centers combined. They are called the energy consumers of your body. They're your survival centers. So when they are open, they literally deliver the energy up from the earth, combined with the earth energies, right into your heart. And now you get to feel love that's empowered with your own energy. That's grounded, so this love then becomes more sustainable. That's the goal of this whole human existence, is learning how to be on this planet, no matter what's happening outside of us, and also be connected into the love that we're made of. And this is how, by anchoring in the energies of love in a different way. It offers us greater resilience to handle whatever outer stressors we come across in our days. Breathing into your heart now, start to feel it beginning to expand across your whole rib cage and fill up toward your shoulders. This will help to clear out your lungs, stimulate your thymus gland, which is a gland that embodies eternal youth. You actually get younger as you do this work energetically. How cool is that? Beautiful, actually. Nice, big, huge expansion through the heart now. Start to feel that energy moving through your ribs, pouring through your shoulders. And this love, this energy comes down your arms and comes right out through your palms. And when we open our hearts in this way, we are releasing this frequency from our bodies into every cell and out into the space that's around you. It's palpable. There's a shift that can be felt by everyone in your presence when this is the energy that you cultivate each day. And now with your heart open, we'll move up into the fifth center, bringing the energy from earth up through your whole body until you arrive in the middle of your neck. And that's where the fifth energy center is located. And when we move up in this way, we open up center by center. The energy of the centers below combine to fill the center that we're working on. So now we're in the throat. This center is the passageway between your heart and your head. The energies of love, when they rise up to your mind, cultivate a new way of thinking, of being, of knowing. And so this is the portal here. This is the passageway. As you open up this fifth center, you open up a different line of communication where your body gets to communicate with your head, and not in reverse order, which is how we've been conditioned. Breathe into the middle of your neck to start to feel the energy of this center expanding, opening up that channel between your heart and your brain. And as you take your next inhale, breathe all the way in and feel the filling of this fifth center until it dissolves like the rest, like the others just have, back out into the field. Beautiful. Until it's wide open. Now come all the way up through your pelvis, through your abdomen, through your chest, through your neck, until you arrive in this sixth energy center behind your eyes. Right in the middle of your brain, you have a center that feeds the most mystical parts of your brain. Your pineal gland, your thalamus, your hypothalamus, your pituitary. These are all structures that are designed to both regulate your body, but also connect you into your multidimensional self. The one that feels energy, sees and hears it, connects you into the greater sense of your beingness here on this planet, but also lets you remember that you are not just human. You are more than that. You are consciousness. You are the most magnificent and beautiful soul. Breathe into that space behind your eyes to open up the sixth center. And doing so, activating these mystical aspects of your mind will begin to dissolve the smaller programs that have kept you in limited, rational belief systems. So as we clear out the energies up here, doubts, worries, future projections, or past moments, they start to lose their charge a little bit, and we become more present focused. Breathing into that sixth center, start to feel it expanding beyond the boundaries of your head, of your cranium. The cranial bones are now starting to disarticulate and move through into a place where they are no longer confined or adherent to one another. Your head is now wide open. Until that sixth center opens to meet the others. All right, now breathing from the earth, let's go all the way up through your whole body and all of these centers, every one through 6. And now rest your attention just above your head, 3 to 6 inches. There's another center up here, the 7th center. Breathe that open. And this I see as like a funnel. And as it opens up, it brings in the energies from source. Opening the center up now, direct your attention all the way overhead. And when you breathe in, feel the energy from the field that's around you and from the energies that have created you. Source energies start to move all the way back down, clearing out anything that moved through you today. All the energetic debris magnetized to this beautiful showering of source energy that's coming straight down through the top of your head, into every energy center, into every nerve vessel, into every cell, and clearing you out so that you are running pure crystalline source energy. And just let that move all the way through you from head to toe until you just feel a tingly oneness in your whole body, connecting into your breath. Feel your whole body being able to breathe now as one drop, one connected whole. This is the energy of love. And for those of you who are able to just stay with this, I encourage you to just stay in your body's breathing, indulging in this moment. And now we'll transition into the room that you're in. Your physical body, start to feel your feet on the floor if you're sitting. Your skin touching the bed or the couch if you're lying. And you can gently bring yourself back in. Maybe you can place your hands on your lap just to feel your skin. And bring the energy from being internally directed into this healing process back into your day, into your outer 5 senses. Okay. So everybody, wow, so many of you hung in there with us throughout this whole process of finding our way to our first YouTube live. Do you want to come back over? Claire's sitting over here to my left. We just want to wrap things up for you all. And if some of you have fallen asleep or you're in a little bit of a haze right now. Yes, namaste, Lynn. We look forward to coming up and seeing you. We've been talking about that. We love you all so much. We are so grateful for this community that we are holding, that we are wanting to bring together closer and closer so that we can support us. We can support one another. You know, these times are, hi Ed. These times are, you know, they're pretty wild. And Claire and I, you know, there's pretty much not a day that goes by that we are just not, we don't express our gratitude for having, you know, somebody who can walk this path alongside, who can help to, you know, hold and support our hearts in an open position, you know, while we are dismantling old systems and building new ones. And so we are doing this together day by day. And yeah, so grateful for the support that we receive here from all of you and for having a platform where we can come and offer our gifts. So please reach out with any additional questions that you might have via email. Some of you have other ways of getting in touch with us. And so we just welcome any of your inquiries or feedback from today's session. We'd love to hear from you and look forward to connecting again with all of you really soon.
Thanks, everyone. Have good weekends.
Oh, I'm going to do this. Yes, Sean. Yes. Oh, great. Well, we love you all. And yeah, we're doing it together. You know, we are doing this. So this is how it's done. This is how we love. This is how we heal. All right. Here we go. Signing off. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. And